Hey everyone, I'm Brett, and welcome to Nightwood Guns. It's always an exciting day when I get to discuss a revolver, and the wheel gun in today's video is the new Ultimate Carry J-frame, the Lipsey's exclusive from Smith & Wesson. Now, whenever I mention that this is the Ultimate Carry J-frame, people say, well, yeah, but what model is it? That's exactly what it is. It's the Ultimate Carry J-frame. Depending on whether you get it in stainless or black, or get it chambered in 38 Special or 32 H&R Magnum, it's going to have a different model number. So for example, the stainless 38 Special in my hands here is the model 642. But it's a -UC for Ultimate Carry. If you know anything about revolvers, this -UC is probably going to be worth a pretty penny in 20 to 30 years. So I would say get them now while you can. So in today's video, I'm going to go over all of the features that make this the Ultimate Carry J-frame, along with the pros and the cons to see if this is worth your hard-earned money. And you're going to want to stay tuned for the cons at the end of the video because there are some things you might want to think about before picking this up. And whenever I post a revolver video, I always end up with a bunch of old coots criticizing my youthful appearance. But I am no stranger to Smith & Wesson revolvers, from my model 66 No Dash to my Lou Horton 1 of 300 681-4, my beautiful 629 No Dash, and even more offerings like my 586 L Comp, and what looks like a beefed up Smith & Wesson 686 made out of all forged parts by Spohr in Germany. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel because you're not going to want to miss this video. Now, hopping into the J-frame, first of all, yes, they do still have a place in today's modern world of firearms.
Stop! That's my purse!
But that's a topic for another video. Now, the 38 Special Ultimate Carry J-frame has a 5-shot capacity like all the other J-frames before it, and the 32 H&R has a 6-round capacity. And of course, that's also nice because you can shoot 32 long and 32 Smith & Wesson. Now, one of the first things people notice about the Ultimate Carry is that it does not have an internal lock. Now, Smith & Wesson has been offering limited versions of J-frames that don't have internal locks, so this is really nothing new, but it's definitely a feature you would want to have on the Ultimate version. It also features an airweight aluminum frame coming in at 16 ounces. Something else people have been begging for on their J-frames are a set of real sights. So starting out with the front sight, it is an XS dot with a green ring and a tritium center. It makes target-focused shooting a piece of cake. For my modern folk out there, you run it just like a red dot, target focus, and man, you can pick this thing up fast. And just to make sure that green dot is where you want it, we have a U-notch blacked out serrated rear sight, but that's not the biggest deal. It's dovetail cut into the gun. Now, my favorite features are still coming up, but today's sponsor, Aura, protects your identity and helps remove all of your personal information off of the internet. When I Googled myself before signing up for my free trial of Aura, I was shocked by the staggering amount of information there was about me online that was just easily Googleable. But the moment you sign up for your 14-day free trial of Aura using aura.com/Nightwood Guns, you can see them opting you out of every single data broker that has access to your personal information. And I'm gonna be honest, it disturbed me to see how many there were, but I'm grateful that Aura was just pulling the plug on them. As if protecting all of your personal information and your identity wasn't enough, with Aura you also get a VPN, antivirus, and identity theft insurance if the worst happens. And it's all in one account, in one app, and it's extremely easy to use. And I even stopped getting spam calls, spam texts, and spam emails. Be sure to sign up using aura.com/Nightwood Guns for that 14-day free trial. Get it while it lasts because it's an incredible deal. And you are getting all of that protection and all of those features at an affordable price when you stick with it. For the astronomically small chance I need to defend my life, Smith & Wesson has my back. But for true everyday protection, I know I can count on Aura. Now, thanks to Aura, back to the video. So even with just these first couple of features, this is an absolute winner, but it doesn't end there. We also have an enclosed ejector rod housing to protect the ejector rod when it is in the closed position. Something else that people have been asking me about are the grips on this. So these are VZ grips made out of G10, and yes, they are exclusive to the Ultimate Carry J-frame as of now. I'm sure VZ will eventually sell them down the line, but I'm sure they're going to be stuck on the ultimate carry for a while. Now, these grips are awesome for several reasons. Number one, they go all the way up the back strap. That way you can really get a high grip on there and it fills your hand. You can see that they molded these grips to be a little fatter. You don't have skinny or thin grips. It really truly fills your hand and makes the trigger reach on the double action trigger perfect. This, of course, makes it easier to pull the trigger directly to the rear to keep your shots exactly where you want them. Something else with this grip, it also goes out to the trigger guard, which protects your knuckle from getting beat up under recoil. Now, some people were wondering if the G10 is too slick. It is not. This G10, when it's dry, just sticks right to your hand, but it's not gonna grab your clothing. So if you're carrying inside the waistband or in a pocket, this is gonna be smooth on the draw and it's gonna stick in your hand when you need it. As you can tell, these are also boot cut, which is gonna make it disappear under clothing, gonna make pocket carry a breeze, and even makes ankle carry a piece of cake while having a real set of grips on here. And something that I haven't heard anyone point out yet is that the grip screw has a Torx head on there, so you don't have to worry about marring it up or stripping the screw head. This was a smart, updated move to make. And also on these grips, they have a relief cut on the left side so that you can easily use speed loaders. The next really cool feature is we have chamfered charge holes in the cylinder. So taking off the sharp edges on these charge holes makes reloading with a speed loader a little more reliable, a little easier, not as many things to catch on, they just slide right in. Something that I noticed that it helped with was with speed strips. They weren't getting stuck on the way in, they were sliding right in so I could just peel them off. They also took the time to bevel the front edge of the cylinder so that reholstering would be smooth. Again, less things to catch on the way back into the holster. Sometimes you're reholstering into a pocket holster, so that really helps. Speaking of holsters, just for anyone interested, I've been running the Harry's holster icon for J-frames, and this is my favorite inside the waistband holster for J-frames, period. You can tell that they actually run their stuff in a modern carry roll because this thing has all the bells and whistles for concealment and it's designed for a speedy draw. So yeah, check out Harry's holsters if you plan on carrying this on your belt. Another impressive feature that I don't hear many people talking about is they gave this thing an endurance package, which includes titanium pins. So if you shoot a lot of rounds through this gun, it's going to last forever. You'll be able to pass it down to your grandkids, even if it's an everyday user. They also tuned up the hammer and trigger geometry along with the springs to give this thing a very smooth trigger pull and a little lighter than your typical OEM J-frame. Now, this isn't Nelson Ford at the Gunsmith Inc. kind of action job. That is hands down the best. If you want the best action job on the planet that maintains reliability and ignition with your revolvers, definitely look up Nelson Ford at the Gunsmith Inc. He's just the best there is. That being said, as far as a factory J-frame goes, I haven't seen this smooth of an action from Smith & Wesson in a long time. Overall, the fit and finish on this wheel gun is very impressive because I've been seeing some major quality control issues from Smith & Wesson revolvers recently, where I'll go into a gun store and the timing will be off on a couple of chambers on about 3 out of every 10 guns, and that's kind of concerning coming from Smith. But it's clear that the ultimate carry is getting some extra attention to detail before it heads out the door, because this one has a great action, a smooth trigger, and after you've added in all of those additional upgrades, it makes this probably the best shooting pocket revolver I've ever encountered. Now, I know I just spent all of this time gushing over everything that I love about this wheel gun. So what are some of the negatives? Well, first of all, this is still a modern Smith & Wesson revolver. This is not them hearkening back to their old age of superior craftsmanship. My particular J-frame carry came with, Mars dents and scratches from the factory. The tritium in the front sight was dead right out of the box. And love them or hate them, it does still use metal injection molded parts. While these grips are amazing, they do have a couple of downsides. One, they are boot grips. They're cut really short. So I wear a medium-sized glove, and I can't even get my pinky on the edge of this. So if you have hands that are bigger than a medium-sized glove, this is going to be a 2-finger gun. Of course, this is excellent for concealment, pocket carry, or ankle carry, but as far as shootability goes, just something to be aware of. Now, something else, they designed this grip to fill your hand, which is awesome, but it's also hard G10, and in 38 Special, especially 38 plus P, this thing punches you right in your hand. And like I said, I'm no stranger to wheel guns, no stranger to J-frames. These grips hurt more than usual. But typically, a J-frame is a last-ditch gun or just a convenient carry piece, not something you are shooting very frequently. so that may not matter to some people, but if you plan on practicing with this thing often, just know that these grips are going to punch you a little harder than usual. Probably another reason I'd recommend it in 32 H&R. One extra round, and it's not going to punch you as much. Next up, the rear sight is not elevation adjustable, so that means they had to pick a distance and an ammunition to zero it with. Now for 38 Special, they chose 135 grain plus P Spear Gold Dot and 148 grain standard pressure wad cutters. For 32 H&R, they went with an 85 grain jacketed hollow point from Federal and also 100 grain 32 long from Buffalo Bore. The issue is they zeroed it at 15 yards. Now, I don't know how many of you plan on defending yourselves with a J-frame at 15 yards. Like, I understand why they did it, but it's, you know, a little inconvenient. Now, I'm not saying this is particularly a downside, just much like having a red dot on a pistol, you're going to need your holdovers with your ammo of choice at pretty much every distance. Not a huge deal, just something to be aware of. So in conclusion, if you are a fan of J-frames, then these are all the features that you've been wanting forever. So don't even think twice. Go get on a list somewhere and pick one of these up. If you're also looking to get your first and maybe only J-frame to add one to your collection, carry rotation, or for special use, then this is the one to invest in and get. Hands down. The Ultimate Carry J-frame absolutely delivers on its namesake. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to check the links in the description down below. That's how you can support me. Be sure to sign up for the 14-day free trial from Aura. That way you can show them some praise for choosing to sponsor and support a gun channel. We vote with our wallets every day, and many people boycotted companies like Bud Light and Target when they went against their values. Well, let's be sure to show praise for the companies that go with our values. Be sure to also give the video a thumbs up like if you enjoyed yourself. Leave me a comment down below and let me know if the Ultimate Carry J-frame is something you're planning on picking up. And thank you to True Shot for sending me 38 Special ammunition for the review. And a big thank you to my patrons. You guys keep the lights on here at Nightwood Guns, and I appreciate you every time I sit down to make a video. Other than that, it was great seeing you guys again, and I'll see you in the next video. I'm Brett, and this was Nightwood Guns. Nightwood out.